Hi Aries, and welcome to your March 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk about your energies for the month of March, which I'm really looking forward to getting into because this will be your time of the year as we get to the end of the month. Happy Aries season. I'm personally really looking forward to Aries season this year because it's going to be one of the most magical, invigorating, new energies that we've felt in a long time. As you guys have probably heard me talk about, we are in a double one year, which means, it's rat year in the Chinese astrology, which is the one for that system. And of course, it will be Aries season, which is the one for Western system. So it's a double one. Some of the newest, most riveting energy that we've seen in a while. So we've got a lot to tie up before then, and that's what this reading is mostly going to go into, Aries. As you can probably see from your spread, there are some things that we're tying up here, and it's not maybe the easiest experience because in order to get so new, and of course you're at the forefront of this because you represent the new, it takes a lot of closure, a lot of wrapping up, and a lot of responsibility to get into that stage of feeling so new. And that's what I see for you guys. But at the same time, there are some nice things coming in. You guys have the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and that says to me that you are gaining perhaps popularity or renown for your personality or for how you are treating other people. I feel that a lot of your new beginning wraps around enjoyment of life, Queen of Wands energy, just loving every aspect of life, loving what you do, waking up in the morning with pride and with sort of an honest, not fake enjoyment of life. And that's what you guys are getting back to here. Nonetheless, there are a few things, as I said, that we have to look at as Aries that have to go. So the feeling of poverty, the feeling of not having enough, the feeling of not being able to escape life's puzzles, not being able to put the pieces together, feeling taken from, feeling a lack of support network. These things have to be specifically focused during Pisces season. I've had a few great private readings with people, and I've seen through the collective energies there that Pisces season specifically, so the beginning of March, is a lot about spilling our guts with something, of course, proverbially. So having to cry something out, having to, let go of something, journal it out, basically holding space for ourselves to have that emotional purging, that emotional cleansing, and, saying, okay, I felt completely out of control of my life. I felt completely taken from. I felt like I was operating from a point of nothingness, from a point of lack. And as I'm talking about that for you guys, my voice is going, so there's a throat chakra thing there. Not feeling like you're able to speak your truth, not feeling like you're able to talk about what's wrong, not feeling like you're able to wrap your mind around what went wrong or where things were difficult. And that's why you have this opportunity here to get that really clear, Aries, and then being able to step into a lot more ease and a lot more of true Aries nature, because Aries is the youngest sign of the zodiac. It is it's sort of more youthful. It's not so tied into these older, more mature archetypes of guilt, pain, anguish, anxiety, problematic mindsets. This is not so much Aries territory, but of course everyone's human and we deal with those stories. And you, Aries, have to maybe be able to see, especially during Pisces season, which is a kind of a tough time for you guys. You have to kind of see that maybe other people think more deeply or think more permanently about these situations that you're in, and it's you have to kind of feel for them and empathize with them during this time as well. So being able to empathize with your loved ones is going to be an important thing this month for you, and being able to see where your profitability is as a person too. I'm not just talking money, but it could be for some of you. I feel that some of you just really need to look toward what is profitable, whether we're talking relationships or career. It's you already know where it is, but maybe there's not a lot of pioneering there. Maybe there's not a lot of real focus in that area. And I just sense that you guys are working so hard, though. Like, you're really trying to support the people around you. You're really trying to, build from the ground up in a lot of other ways. But there's this like one area on the sideline that is so prosperous that there's not a lot of attention on. And I just want to bring that to your attention here today, Aries. But on that note, I want to go ahead and get specifically into the tarot reading. The extended will be over on Patreon if you guys want to see the central theme as well as the supporting factors. There are more cards that will be linked right below here. And if you're already on Patreon, thank you so much. That reading will be over there. But yeah, let's talk about the first week of March, Aries. You guys have the Three of Cups reversed, rooted down by Five of Pentacles. So immediately in March, you're going to be facing the hardest things, okay? And that's to a degree for all of us too. Like, y'all aren't alone there. Most people are facing the toughest things in the first week of March 2020, and to a degree the second week. Although I feel the second week will be easier for you guys. Week number 1 of March is not an easy time. I'm just going to put it out there for everybody, but especially for you guys. We're getting towards your time of the year. This is maybe the weakest time of the year for an Aries, because typically when the sun is in the 12th house, it's the weakest time when it comes to vitality, because you're just almost, it's like right before the payday. You know what I mean? Like right before we get paid, we have the least amount of money in our bank account, the least things that we can do. And we're like preparing, okay, I get paid tomorrow. I get paid tomorrow. Come on. That's sort of the energy that Aries has right now. That's really what I feel. It's like, okay, I've just got to get through till this Friday. I get paid this Friday, or I get paid at the end of this month. I just got to get through until then. And it's like there are austerities that you have to take. Okay, this is important, Aries. Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. There are austerities that an Aries has to take during the beginning of March. And as we get back to your time of the year, especially getting into April, it's like huge payday. And then you get to like really have fun. But there are austerities here, responsibilities. And that just is sometimes. And you guys can actually really pioneer things like that and really make that something that's fun and enjoyable. Like an Aries being frugal can be super fun. Like you guys are at the grocery store. You're like seeing like, wow, I was able to get like a full cart full of groceries for like $30. How did I do that? I don't know. I figured it out. I'm an Aries. And I still got just as much as someone who spent like $300, but I just spent $30. And it was fun to figure that out. Like if you can think about things that way, you can really create a lot of benevolence for yourself. We do have an issue, though, with the Aries that's like got the credit card out and thinking, I'm just going to buy everything right now. You know, whether we're talking proverbially or like physically. Beware of the credit card. Beware of the of giving your time to everybody else, of not coming back to yourself, of not having self-care, basically working with themes of the self through like a credit system. We got to watch out for that. You know, self-imposed credit systems of like, I'm going to give of myself to everybody. So much energy, so much energy, so much energy. Not the right time for it, Aries. You guys have to be a little bit austere with how much you're giving right now. And I really do feel a throat chakra thing, like really hardcore. You guys have to tell something too. There's something that's hard for you to say. This first, second week of March, there's something that's hard to say. It's like it has to be said. It's like, I messed up, or you hurt me, or I don't have enough for this. I can't afford this anymore. I can't keep doing this way. There's something along those lines that has to be said just so that you can hear yourself too. Because you might really be thinking it. You might be thinking, I can't do this anymore. I've got to quit this career. I've got to move. I've got to make more money, or I've got to, work less. There's something there. And it's like when you say it out loud, it's different. Okay. And it's like, wow, I've been feeling this whole time that I don't have enough money, or that I don't have enough love in my life, or that this location just does not give back to me. But then when I said it out loud, it didn't really make sense, or it didn't, this is like Pisces season. Everything's a crux. Everything is a whole like layered thing. And it's like by saying it out loud, just hypothetically, it's like you say, I don't, have any love in my life. And it's like you say it out loud and it's like, well, but there are those people. And then you start to realize, well, but I'm not really putting myself out there either. Or I'm not really, or maybe I'm like completely putting myself out there to the wrong people. And it's like you have to get beneath the layers of it and realize it's not just about not having enough love in your life or whatever it is. It's also about like where you're putting yourself to. And that can really apply to everything. Because, week number 1, there's a cold road. Maybe it's a cold temperature. Maybe there's a coldness in the relationships. Again, 3 of Cups reversed is also like, the friends that we've had forever, the family relationships that have just been going on and on and on and on and on. Those things are not really where we're finding enjoyment or warmth, but it's like we're still trying and we're still walking down all those roads. You might want to really see that in the first week. And I would plan, if I were in Aries, I would kind of think about, is there something new? Is there a new branding for myself if I am a business owner? Is there a new, location that I've never been to, just to maybe see and start planning that out and just to like give it to yourself? Because I feel there's also an issue with maybe not giving back to yourself, Aries, that I would look into for sure. Week number 2, Queen of Wands rooted down by 8 of Cups. I actually really like that because it's like you are confident to walk away or confident to try something new. You're not fooled by the money or the words of other people or the inaction of others that promise to be some kind of action. You're not fooled by it anymore, and you're like, I don't need that. At the same time, I feel that you're aware of who is right. So like the people who've been there, the people who have been supporting you, like maybe some of you, I feel that some of you are actually in like a really good relationship and there's like a person that is really supportive. This is obviously can't be everybody. But I feel that it's like, or you start to know like who's been loyal and who hasn't. Sometimes as an Aries, we kind of don't think that way. Like, who all is in my life, who's actually loyal, who's not loyal, who's here for like what I can give them, who's, here to be like mutually giving, there's not a lot of like categories like that sometimes. And that's why it might be good to be around like a Virgo or a Scorpio or a Capricorn even, or to have those types of people in your life just so they can like maybe say like you do realize that person or this job is like giving you about like this much, right? And then maybe Aries with those placements as well can see it more clearly. But I love that in the second week of March, you're kind of like seeing that and you're like, yeah, I can do way better, or I can enjoy things a lot more in my life. And you start an adventure. Like I feel you guys, because again, we're getting towards Aries time there, and you guys are leaving something behind and preparing to start anew. Now, you do enter into the third week with the Hermit rooted down by 5 of Swords reversed. When you do that, when you step into 8 of Cups, like it's never quite what we expect it to be. 8 of Cups during a Pisces season is like nothing to be taken lightly. Sometimes we get really accustomed to like lack, or really accustomed to people like making our lives quite cold. And as we start to walk out of that, there can be a bit of Stockholm syndrome, or there can be a bit of like second guessing, like, ooh, now it's all up to me. Now the ball is in my court. I'm responsible for it, and you have to be your best protector. I feel like you have to be your ally here. The Hermit is like, okay, yeah, you've got to do this alone. You've got to, or there's got to at least be a moment where it's not about anybody else, where it's not about all these old stories, and you just got to like, accept that you're protected and accept that maybe like God or the universe or whatever has a plan for you. I talked a lot about this in the Pisces video, so especially if you guys have Pisces, even if you don't, go and watch the Pisces video because it kind of resonates for everyone. It's Pisces season, I talked a lot about how humanity and the collective is really scrambling to have something more than themselves, a divine figure, entity, deity. For some people, it's like entities. For some people, it's different things for everybody. But basically, there's like a morality and something bigger than you that you have to see during the third week of March. And you have to understand that, okay, it's not just about money. It's not just about love. It's not just about, having these things or these experiences. It's sort of about like that moment where I enjoy things, or that moment where I feel a spark and where I don't feel worried to like communicate my truth, again, throat chakra. And 5 of Swords reversed with that, there might be a lot of realizations like, okay, yeah, people have been taking me on a ride. People have been just with me because of what I have, or just with me because of what I can give, the warmth that I can give. And then, of course, there might be some people who've really been fair and nice to you. And you got to be able to figure out what that all looks like. Week number 4, you guys have 10 of Cups rooted down by 9 of Swords. So the American dream, or the white picket fence, or the marriage, when we commit to things in our lives, that is not really right in a double 1 type of energy year. Unless it's been going for a long time, unless it's like Like, it's so old and so connective that it can be new every day. That's going to be a puzzle. Nine of Swords is like the puzzle that we never want to solve. Okay. So connecting that to that idea of like the American dream or the marriage, all of those things, it's not really fun to think about, is it? Like having these more mundane experiences of our lives that have really culminated becoming like frightening puzzles. Okay. And that's okay, Aries. You know, you are a puzzle solver, and you might solve it just to find out how incredible it is. I'm just kind of talking around what I'm feeling for you guys right now. And really, the fourth week, you know, you're into your time of the year. I think that once we get into April, it's going to turn really positive and really great. And of course, we'll check the extended as well on Patreon and see how we feel about like the central theme and the supporting factors. That'll really help to elucidate what some of these more subtle messages are meaning. But as sort of a concluding note, I think that you are needing to get out of your head a little bit, really, okay? And just connect and just let life solve its puzzles, you know? Be the puzzle solver, let life solve the puzzles. You just got to kind of start to enjoy what you're doing and find a new type of motivation, and that will really see you well. Okay, Aries, I'm going to go ahead and conclude that there for the general reading. But yeah, let's jump over to Patreon now for the extended. If this resonated, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button and comment and tell me how you're feeling as an Aries, because I would like to know. This energy is very fascinating. And if you guys would like to jump over on Patreon now, I will link that in the center of the screen, and you can click and it will take us straight over to the extended there. Thank you so much to everyone who is signing up and joining me on Patreon. It keeps this possible. So let's jump over and do that now. I'll talk to y'all later. Much love. Bye.